So, welcome back to the session of financial management. And as we are discussing the second unit, okay, we have started the discussion about the second unit, and in a second unit we have a four different component or four parts we have. First part, sources of finance. Part two, cost of capital. Part three, capital structure, and part four, leverage. Again, please remember these parts are only for understanding purpose. Your syllabus is unit 2 is remain same or remain constant for all the points. But for the better understanding, we called it part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4. Are we clear? So we have started the discussion about the part 1 and that is sources of finance, totally theoretical point. And we have discussed that for a company forms of organization, we have four types of sources: equity share capital, preference share capital, debt capital, and internal sources. Already we have started the discussion about the equity share capital. Okay, so equity share capital is also represent the ownership capital of the company. Equity shareholders are known as owners of the company. They get the dividend in form of return. They are bearing the risk, and the liability of the equity shareholders are limited to their number of shares. Are we clear up to this? We have completed this slide in the last class. Are we clear, everyone? Okay. Now, one more point you need to remember here that the expenses, out of all the share capital or out of all the sources of finance, the equity share capital is the most expensive or more expensive source of finance. Please remember this line. It may be asked in an MCQ or one mark question. The which capital or which source of finance is more expensive? The answer is equity share capital. Then after we have tried to understand the different types of capital. Okay. Also, we have discussed this one. Am I right? Okay, so we have four types of capital: authorized capital, total amount that company can issue, the maximum amount that company can issue. If you look at the Marwadi University, we have a campus of 22 acres. So this 22 acres is considered as our boundary. We cannot go beyond this boundary. So here, this 22 is considered as authorized land for a university. Similarly, the companies have that particular amount that offered by the Memorandum of Association and Companies Act. That company can issue maximum of this much of capital. That call is authorized capital. Then after issued capital, the amount offered to equity shareholders, to potential shareholders, subscribed capital, the amount subscribed by the capital, that is subscribed capital, unsubscribed capital, amount not subscribed by the capital, and paid up capital, actual amount paid by the investors. In most of case, issued capital, subscribed capital, and paid up capital are same. Now, from this slide, I think so our discussion is pending. So, write down the next title, that is values of shares. Values of shares. Generally, we have four values. Let's understand one by one. Okay. The first one is par value. This par value is also known as face value. Please remember the another name. It is also known as face value, a value that is recorded in the memorandum of association. Now you may hear this word memorandum or memorandum of association, MOA. So memorandum of association is a one particular document or a preliminary document, prime document of company that define the company structure. If you look at the syllabus, okay, I have uploaded in your Google Classroom yesterday. So this syllabus means it's defined the entire framework for the financial management for that particular semester number 3. So whatever is written there, we need to do that all the things. So here, whatever the price is recorded in the memorandum of association, that is known as a par value or a face value. You may hear this word that each of rupees 100, each of rupees 10. And you hear these words? Each of rupees 10, each of rupees 100. So this 100 and 10 are known as par value. This is known as face value. In a stock market, in a finance market, you in some practical questions you hear that word, that each of rupees 10, each of rupees 100. Generally we have 10 and 100. Two are the generally we have face value. Yes, can we when we see as a face value? Yes, yes, my dear. It's having two or three names: par value, face value, or a basic value. It's also known as basic value. Next one is issued value or issue value. A value at which the equity shareholders are issued or offered to equity shareholders or to potential shareholders. And here we have three different conditions. If the company issued the shares with a premium, then your issued price means face value plus premium. Suppose here face value is 100 and company has issued the shares with a 10% premium. So can you tell me the issue price? No, wrong, Neville. No, no. I am asking about the issue price. Face value is 100 and companies issued the shares with a premium. And whenever there is a premium, it means company get the additional amount. And your additional amount is 10%. So 10 rupees company will get and your issue price is 110. Are we clear about the first condition? If the shares are issued with a premium, if premium will be added in the face value, you will get the issue price. Okay. Condition number 2, company has issued the share with a discount of 5%. Company has issued the shares with a discount of 5%. So in that case, your company shares issue price will be how many rupees? That will be rupees 95. 5% discount. So discount will be deducted from the face value. So it is called as a issue value or issue price. And the third case, issued at a par, issued at a basic value, then it is 100 and 100. Issue price is also 100 and face value, par value is also 100. So in issue price or issue value, we have three conditions: issued with a premium, face value plus premium; issued with a discount, face value minus discount; and issued at a price, issue price and face value, par value both are same. Concept number 2 is clear: issue value, issue price. Okay. Number 3, book value. Book value means a value of share that recorded in the books of companies. Books of accounts of the company. A value or a price recorded in the books of account of the company is known as book value. Simply, कंपनी की बुक में जो वैल्यू लिखी है उसको हम कहते हैं बुक वैल्यू. And one formula is there: paid up capital plus reserve and surplus divided by number of shares. You will get the book value per share. Are we clear about the book value? A value which is recorded in the books of account. Very simple. And last, if you have remember, in the last week, we have exercised one activity, that finding out the share price of Reliance Limited and Tata Motors Limited today. Do you remember? If you look at or if you Google it right now, the share price of Reliance Limited, which amount you will get? Share price of Reliance Limited today. In my case, today is 0.6 2000 and 2062 rupees 0.00. If you Google it right now, okay, the current right now price of the Reliance Limited, Industry Limited is 2062.35. Just right now, there is an increase of 0.35. So can you tell me this 2622 rupees is considered or it known as market value, fourth value. Is there any explanation required for market value? Okay, so four values: face value, a value that stated in the memorandum; issue value, a value at which the shares are offered to investors; book value, value recorded in a book; and market value, value at which the shares are traded in the market. Yes, you will get everything. Just give me a few. hmm, no, not few. By today, definitely by today you will get. Okay. Now the next point, very very important for all of you, rights of equity shareholders. Okay, rights of equity shareholders. Generally, we have 4 to 5 rights. The first right, right to income. Right to income. Now, can you tell me income here? Income to equity shareholders means what? Incomes to equity shareholders means what? What company will give equity shareholders, or what equity shareholders will get dividend? Okay, so here right to income means they have a right to get the dividend if there is a profit. Okay, and if the board of directors are ready to declare the dividend, then and then they have a right, they can claim a dividend to the company. If there is a profit, the equity shareholders have a right to claim the company. Are we clear about the right to income? They have a right to get the dividend whenever there is a profit. Here, profit means a net profit, profit after paying all the expenses and after paying the tax even. So, profit after tax is considered as an income, and this income is available for equity shareholders. So, equity shareholders claim that income to distribute as a dividend. Number two, right to control. Already I have explained in the first slide that only the equity shareholders have a voting right. Debenture holders, preference shareholders does not have a voting right. So at the AGM, annual general meeting. So right to control means they have a voting rights. Okay, and by using that voting rights, they can elect the board of directors. So here they have a right that they can control the composition of board of directors. If there are 3 persons, X, Y, and Z, so out of these three, who will be the director of the company? That will be decided by the equity shareholders. Are we clear about the second right? The first right is about right to income, get the dividend if there is a profit, right to control, voting right, and right to elect the board of directors. And preemptive right. Preemptive right means, let me explain the right in detail. Just a minute, Hello. See, company have a authorized capital of rupees 20, let's say. Okay, this is the authorized capital AC of the company. Out of that company is issued only 15 lakh rupees. That is issued capital, IC. Now company wants some more capital and company is going to issue additional or remaining 5 lakhs rupees to the investors. So this 5 lakh rupees company first offer their existing shareholders. Okay, this 5 lakh amount, suppose company have a share of each rupees 100. So 5,000 shares are there. So company first give a right, give a preference to existing shareholders. If they want to purchase or they want to acquire more shares, they can acquire, they can purchase the additional shares. And these shares are known as a right shares, RIGST, right share. Okay, हक के share. Are we clear about the pre-imperative right? Whenever company go for the additional shares issue or issue of additional shares, at that time existing shareholders have a preference, have a right to purchase the additional shares if they want. If I don't want, I have a right that I can transfer my rights to Aditya, to Jenny, to Nishit, to Sahil, anyone. But company need to offer, as per the law, company need to first offer me that shares. Now I have to decide that whether I am going to purchase or I am going to say no, I am not interested, or else I transfer my rights to a third person that is available in the law. And last one, and very, very important for all of you, right in a liquidation. Actually, the equity shareholders does not have any right in a liquidation. If you talk about the debenture holders and preference shareholders and bank institutes or financial institutes, they have a right. Here, liquidation means company is going to shut down their business, shut down their operation. अब company बंद हो रही, close हो रही. So in that case, the bank, debenture holders, preference shareholders claim the company that please give us or give money to us that you have used, you have withdrawal from us in form of bank loan, in form of debenture, in form of other securities. So they can claim, but equity shareholders can't claim anything to a company at the time of liquidation, at the time of closing of a business. And now most important for all of you, suppose company is going to shut down the business. Okay, now company need to pay all the liabilities. So company has paid out the bank loan, company has paid out the debentures, company has paid out the amount to preference shareholders, and then after, if anything is there, then the equity shareholders get that amount. But generally what happen in a real life, in a practical life, that when the company is going to shut down the business, at that time they are shut down, it means they does not have sufficient fund. उसके पास फंड नहीं है, इसलिए तो कंपनी अपना क्लोज कर रहे हैं. अगर फंड होता तो क्लोज क्यों करते? So in general, in a practical life, whenever there is a liquidation, equity shareholders are not getting anything in case of liquidation, in case of shutdown in the business, in case of closing the business. That's why in here, this in the fourth point, right in liquidation, it means they have a last chance to get the money. They have only this right. Actually, we can't call this right. Are you getting my point? तो रियल में ये कोई राइट नहीं है, ये तो नुकसान है. So 4 rights are there. First right, rights to income, to get the dividend. Second right, right to control, voting right and electing the board of directors. Number 3, right of right shares and right in liquidation. Okay. Now read these points one by one. And you may explain in a class. Now it's open for all of you. If anyone from your side, you may explain it. Shahil, starting from you. Shahil, are you there, beta? Yes. You may unmute yourself. Read the first point and try to explain. Then after, please ready for the next one. Who is the next? Sahil. Now it's your turn. Quickly. Please first unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Read the first point.
No compulsion to pay dividend, sir.
It means
Means, sir, we have to not pay any extra charges for dividend.
no. See,
Uh,
your no compulsion to pay a dividend. It means there is no any rule that every year company need to pay the dividend. In case of bank loan, you need to pay interest every year.
yes, sir.
Yes, but in case of equity shareholders, there is no any rule that company need to declare a dividend every year. That is up to company and board of directors. So there is no rule to pay a dividend regularly. Again, read the
Yes.
second point, my dear. You may continue, please.
No maturity date.
Yes,
It,
it means
there is no date of fixed maturity date.
okay. If you see the bank loan, okay, you can say that for a 5 years, for a 10 years, for a 20 years. If you see the debentures for a 20 years, for a 10 years, but in case of equity shareholders, we does not have any
Yes.
limitity. It is
Yes.
starting from the birth of the companies and it will end with the death of the company. Thank you, my
Yes, sir.
dear. Who is the next? Jenny? Yes, please unmute. See, this exercise is to interact more with you. It is not to punish you or it is not to embarrass you. Okay? Or voluntary if anyone आप में से कोई भी. Hello. See, I don't have that much of time. Please be quick. Okay. Anyone else? Here, redeem means buyback. Redeem means buyback. No obligation to redeem. Here, no obligation to redeem means there is no any obligation about the buyback of the shares. If company wants, company can buy back. If company does not want, company nobody forced to buy back the equity shares. Are you getting my point? Point number 3. ये इसका advantage है. Advantage from the point of view of obligation to redeem. Here redeem means buyback. In case of, if you see the some types of preferences in some types of debentures, you get that up 10 years. It means after 10 years, company need to buy back the debentures, that buy back their preferences. But in case of equity shares, there is no obligation. Next one, greater ability to get a bad debt. Sorry, to get a debt finance. Greater ability means if the companies have equity shares, and in that case, company easily get the debt finance from the other financial institutes. Okay, if you go to the bank, okay, and and you are saying to bank manager that I have my own building, I have my own factory, I have my own car, I have my own house, okay, and I have this much of business operation with me. So this represents that you are having that capacity that if the bank will grant you a loan, you can repay. So similarly, from the point of view of company, if the companies have equity shares, it means it's represent the capability of the company that company can repay the debt finance. So are we clear about the fourth advantage? Okay, and last one, and this is not from the point of view of company important, but it is important from you and me side, my side. Okay, dividends are tax exempted. Dividend are tax exempted means whatever, actually see what happened, that dividend is nothing but dividend is a part of profit. Companies earn the profit, out of the profit companies paid all the expenses, and then some remain profit is there. That remain profit means divisible profit, and divisible profit means profit distributed among the shareholders. So ultimately this dividend is already profit of the company, and in this profit the company has paid the tax. Whatever the company have generated revenue, after revenue they deducted the expenses. After deducting the expenses they get the gross profit. After gross profit they have deducted the tax liability, and then after they get the profit after tax, and profit after tax means the amount available for dividend. So ultimately when we have calculated profit after tax, when we have calculated amount for dividend, already company has paid the tax to the respective authorities. So whenever company declare the dividend at that time, whenever the existing shareholders are getting the dividend, this dividend is tax exempted means you and me are not supposed to require the tax on dividend of the company. Are you getting my point? Shareholders are not required to pay a tax on this dividend income. So dividend income in India is tax exempted, no tax liabilities. If you will get a 10 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, 12 lakh rupees, 50 lakh rupees, 1 crore rupees, that up to a certain conditions, it will be tax exempted, it will be a tax free. So these are the advantages. No compensation or no compulsory to pay a dividend, no maturity date, no rules or regulation about the buyback. Okay, capability to get more finance, and dividend is tax exempted. Now the few limitations are also there. Okay, already I explained the first one. Dilute the control of the owners. Why? Because the equity shareholders have a right. They have a right to appoint the board of directors. Suppose there are three persons, X, Y, and Z. So equity shareholders will decide that who will be the director, X or Y or Z. So the equity shareholders are diluting. Diluting means forcing to change the control. Cost of equity capital is higher. Already I explained. Okay, and the equity dividend are paid out of profit after tax. So ultimately, it is a part of profit. This is the limitation. If we invest the same profit in a business as a reinvestment, as a retain earning, we will expand and grow the business. And cost of issue shares is generally higher than the other securities. Okay, let me explain the last limitation with a practical example. Okay, uh, are you ever get a call from the bank that you required a credit card? Do you need a credit card? ऐसा कॉल कभी आया है from a bank? You or your family member, your brother, sister, father, mother. Okay. Generally, you got this call, sir or ma'am. I am talking or I am speaking from ICICI Bank. Does your requirement or do you require a credit card? Okay, we are offering free of cost credit card. They are saying like this. So this represent that the credit card, bank loans are freely available. You are not required to pay any cost. Even though if you ask a bank manager that, okay, sir, in my office we have 50 people, and out of 50 people, 20 people are interested to issue the credit card. Bank manager will or bank officer come to your office. You are not required to go to bank. Bank officer will come to your place and they explain the formalities. Are you getting my point? So for debt capital, for a bank loan, for other securities, the securities are available free of cost. Free of cost, so nominal cost is there. But in case of equity share capital, issuance capital, it means you need to you need to follow some legal process. You need to open a separate account. You need to open one particular manager for this. you need to go for some other formalities, you need to go for the registration, and these are required so many expenses. So from that point of view, the equity share capital is issuing expenses are higher than the other securities. So are we clear? One, it's dilute the control. Number two, the cost is high. Number three, the dividend is a part of profit. And number four, the issue cap expenses are more. So this is all about equity share capital. The concept, okay. Then are types of capital, values of the shares, rights, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, write down the next point, preference capital. It is so easy to understand and easy to remember. Preference capital. Why they are calling preference capital? हम इसको preference capital क्यों बोलते हैं? Any idea? If you see the definition of preference capital in the laws, the definition is very simple. Exact words are preference shares means shares other than the equity shares. ऐसा ही कुछ है, right? Preference shares means shares other than the equity shares. Equity shares के अलावा जितने भी shares हैं उसको हम preference shares कहते हैं, ऐसा कुछ है. But I want your answer. Why they called this capital called preference capital? Any idea? Special shares given to company employees? No. Shareholders have a high claim on issuing the company's assets than common shareholders? No. See the word preference. Preference means in which term preference? Okay, let me explain. See, there are two extreme cases in a company. Either the company earn a profit or either company suffer the losses. I am right? Two extremes are there. Either a company earn a super profit or either company suffer a loss. In case of suffering the losses, it may happen that company goes to close. Company goes to shut down. Okay. So here, please now remember and try to understand this. When there is a profit, preference shareholders have a preference to get a fast dividend. They have a preference in getting the income. They have a preference in getting the dividend. So company always issue or declare the preference dividend first, and then after company declare the equity dividend. Are you getting my point? First point, they have a preference to get the dividend. And in the worst condition, if the company goes down and company needs to close their entire business, in that case, again they have a right to get their money back before the equity shareholders. They can claim a company to repay that amount. So from that point of view, this capital is called as preference capital. Why preference capital? Because they get a preference in receiving the dividend and at a time of liquidation repaying or getting their principal amount. So simply preference capital means a preferred capital. A preferred capital means preference shareholders have a first preference in a dividend and at a time of liquidation. Are we clear why they are calling as a preference capital? This is the logic behind this one, why we call it a preference capital. So okay, preference capital represents the combined characteristics of equity capital and debt capital. Preference shareholders get the preference dividend, okay, and preference for repayment of money at a time of liquidation. Already I explained it. Okay, they have a first preference for a dividend and they have a first preference for repayment of money at a time of liquidation. That's why it is called as a preference capital. Now, please read this all the points, and if you are aware about anyone, I'm not saying that you explain the first. If you are aware about anyone, please unmute yourself and try to explain. I will help you if you get difficulties. Types of preference. Totally, we have 8 types of preferences. Anybody is aware about anyone? Any type of preferences? Quickly, guys. ऐसे टाइम वेस्ट मत करो यार. 10 मिनट्स में हमें ये पूरा करना है पूरा. Hello. I see there are 43 students in a class. Nobody is known about the preferences. Wow, very nice. Okay, let me explain one by one. Cumulative preference share. Let me check. Cumulative preference share. Here, cumulative preference shares means the dividend on a preference shares is cumulated every year. Cumulated every year means, suppose there is a 5% preference share and company has not declared the dividend for current year. It means in the next year, company need to pay the dividend for the previous year 5%, for the current year 5%. Are you getting my word? If the company is not declaring for next 3 years, then these 3 years dividend will be accumulated, will be deposited. Whenever company declare, company need to pay the entire dividend for this next 3 years and 4 years. So cumulated means the dividend will be cumulated year by year up to the declaration of dividend. Non-cumulative preference shares means if company declare the dividend, well and good, there is a dividend. If there is no declaration of dividend, it means no dividend. The remaining dividend is not transferred to the next year. Are we clear about the first type of preference share, cumulative and non-cumulative? कम्युलेटिव को वापस से एक बार एक्सप्लेन करता हूं कि डिविडेंड एवरी ईयर कम्युलेटेड होता जाएगा, वहां पे इकट्ठा होता जाएगा जब तक के लिए कंपनी उसको डिक्लेयर नहीं करती. इस साल में नहीं दिया तो इस साल का पेंडिंग, दूसरे साल में नहीं दिया तो दूसरे साल का पेंडिंग, दोनों साल का पेंडिंग है वो तीसरे ईयर में जब डिक्लेयर होगा तो तीनों साल का एक साथ होगा. इन केस ऑफ कम्युलेटिव. इन केस ऑफ नॉन कम्युलेटिव, आज डिविडेंड है तो डिविडेंड है, आज नहीं दिया तो अगले साल के लिए वो ट्रांसफर नहीं होगा, कैरी फॉरवर्ड नहीं होगा. नेक्स्ट टाइप्स ऑफ प्रेफरेंस शेयर, participating preferences and non-participating preferences. As we have discussed in equity shareholders, they have a voting rights. Okay, so in this category of preferences, these preference shareholders have a right to participate in the meetings of the company, specifically AGM. So those shareholders having the right to participate in the annual general meeting, those are known as participating preference shares. And those does not have a right to participate in meetings, okay, in a decisions of the company, it's known as non-participative preference shares. Are we clear about the second type? जिसके पास राइट है पार्टिसिपेट करने का इन डिसीजन मेकिंग ऑफ द कंपनी, दैट कॉल्ड एज अ पार्टिसिपेटिव. जिसके पास नहीं है वो नॉन पार्टिसिपेटिव. नेक्स्ट वन इज रिडीमेबल एंड इररिडीमेबल. हियर रिडीमेबल मींस कंपनी हैव टू रिडीम देयर शेयर आफ्टर अ पर्टिकुलर fixed period. Suppose companies issue the debentures, a preference share for 5 years. Okay, it means after the 5 years they need to, or company have to buy back the shares. As the 5 years are over, compulsory for a company to buy back, to redeem the shares. Irredeemable means it is alike as equity shareholders. There is no time limit to buy back the shares. It's a continuous shares. So redeemable means there is a fixed period. After that fixed period, company buy back the shares. Irredeemable means there is no fixed period. The preference shares are remain same. And the last type, convertible preference shares and non-convertible preference shares. Can you explain me what do you mean by convertible preference shares? Here convertible means it may that the preferences will converted into, yes Jenny, no, not in a short period, but Meet is right, into equity shares. Okay, suppose after a 3 years. So after a 3 years, not in a short term, generally we have 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So convertible preference shares means shares those are converted or maybe convert or convertible in a equity shares. And non-convertible means they does not have any right to convert in the equity shareholders. They remain a preference shares for a long period, for up to entire life of the company. Cumulative dividend will be cumulated every year. Non-cumulative, if there is profit, there is dividend. If no dividend, will not carry forward for the next year. Participative, they have a right to participate in the decision making. Non-participative does not have a right. Redeemable, redeem after a fixed period of time. Irredeemable, no provision about the redemption of shares. Convertible, converted or maybe convert in equity shares after a particular fixed period. And non-convertible means there is no right to convert that preference shares in a equity shares. So are we clear about this, all the types of preference shares? Yes. Any doubt, any query? No. Okay, some of advantages, 3 to 4 advantages are same. Okay, like number one, no legal obligation to pay dividend. If there is a profit, then company go for the dividend. There is no any rules and regulation that it is compulsory to pay the dividend. It is up to a profitability of the company. Number two, no redemption obligation except the one type of shares. Okay, जो redeemable preference shares है, इसके अलावा there is no any obligation about the redemption. It means there is no any rules and regulations to buy back the preference shares. No assets are pledged in favor of preference shares. If you want to bank loan from the bank, you need to plugged means you need to mortgage some assets. You need to submit the documents of that asset to the bank. But here in that case, in this preference shares, it is not required. Enhance the credit worthiness of the company. Enhancing the credit worthiness means it increase the credit value of the company. And one of the most important advantage of preference share capital is they don't have voting right. Equity shareholders have voting right, but preference shares does not have a voting right except the participating preference shareholders. So are we clear about the advantages? It's very simple. No obligation for dividend, no obligation for redemption. Okay, mortgage of asset is not required. Enhancing the credit value and no voting right. Last but not least, limitation of preference capital. As compared to equity capital is cheapest to show, is less expensive, but as compared to debt capital is more expensive. ये दोनों के बीच का है. बैंक लोन से ज़्यादा एक्सपेंसिव है, बट इक्विटी शेयर से थोड़ा कम एक्सपेंसिव. From the point of view of bank loan, it is expensive. Okay, one limitation. Number two, no legal obligation to pay a dividend. No legal obligation to pay. It means if there is a profit and board of directors are ready to pay a dividend, then there is a dividend. Otherwise, there is no dividend. So this limitation is not from the point of view of company, but it is from the point of view of you and me. It means from the point of view of shareholders, that there is no any obligation that company will pay the dividend regularly. And next three, preference for claim on the assets and earning of the company. Okay, generally the preference shareholders have a preference to claim the assets and earning at the time of liquidation, but in some of cases when company does not have any surplus amount at that time, the preference shareholders even not getting anything from the company. If you look at to the case of Vijay Mallya or Nirav Modi, whether you are equity shareholder or whether you are preference holder, it doesn't matter. You all need to suffer a loss of principal amount. Are you getting my point? Okay, so when there is no any remain assets or earning of the company at a time of liquidation, the preference shareholders cannot do anything. And last one, acquiring voting rights if the company skip the preference dividend for a certain period. And one of the most important limitation here, that preference shareholders does not have that right. Okay, if the company continuously skipping the dividend. In case of equity shareholders, it's happened like suppose from last 5 to 6 years company is not declaring the dividend. So equity shareholders can claim the dividend or they have voting rights. They can, you know, go to the AGM and they do the whatever they want to do. But in case of preference shareholders, they can't do anything if they are not getting the dividend. So for limitation, expensive, no obligation, legal obligation for dividend, okay, no preference for claiming the assets and earning at a time of liquidation, and no voting rights to claim the dividend, those skipped by the dividend company. So this is all about the preference share capital. Okay, this is enough for today. And if you have any query, any question, please let me know. Otherwise, write your enrollment numbers and you may go for a tea break. Everyone, please write your enrollment number only.